Okay, guys, we're going to begin the show in just a second, and I've got a ton of great stuff. Jared and Whit and Greg, you guys watching? It's starting in 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's get this started. Hello, guys. It's it's already the 18th of May, 2020. How are things where you are? Things are okay here in Kansas City. Today, I actually saw some businesses kind of start to open. When I was in Walmart today, there was a little nail salon there, and they were open for the first time in a while, and they were doing eyebrow waxing and all that crap. The place that does my hair, obviously, still not open yet. I go to Great Clips by my house. Hi, Kim. How are you? How's real estate, Kim? Kim sold us our house. Thanks, and we love it. All right, so let's get to a bunch of stuff. I actually was home. I came home today. I had a little stomach issue, and I came home today, and I took a big, long nap. And I woke up, and my wife asked me to take my temperature. And I said, it is not coronavirus. And my temperature was 97.9. So it was a little bit, low, actually. I don't think that's a symptom. Anyway, Jared is in Arkansas, and Whit is in Florida watching. Hey, how you doing there, buddy? All right. I'm going to start off with the bad news, and this is one of the most tragic things that I've seen. About a third of small businesses forced to close to coronavirus say they will not open. 1/3 of small businesses are going bankrupt. They're going to go out of business. They're done. JCPenney is shuttering several hundred stores. My sister is one of the managers of the one in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Hopefully she will not be affected by this. More than half of business owners surveyed by Facebook said they also don't expect to be able to rehire the same amount of workers they had before. Facebook estimates 86,000 small and medium business owners, managers, and employees for its state of small business. It was a survey. It was released on Monday. This is unbelievable. Part of the data initiative with the World Bank and Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible. 31% of small and medium-sized businesses have been forced to close their doors in the last 3 months. I've been driving around town, and I am seeing all sorts of storefronts shut down. Space available for lease gone. Most of them are restaurants. The ones that I've seen are restaurants, but there have been others. It's unbelievable. The U.S. economy lost 20.5 million jobs in April, and all of this could have been avoided if we just focused on the people who were vulnerable and not on shutting the rest of the place down. And no one will be held accountable for it. Because everybody, when I post on Facebook how ridiculous this is, the death toll would have been a lot worse if they hadn't shut down. Well, tell that to Sweden. Tell that to South Dakota. It's the biggest sham perpetrated on mankind in the history of mankind. Yes, it is a disease that makes people very sick, and it has killed many people. But did you realize there was another pandemic when Woodstock happened? Did you know that? Okay. First of all, I hate the 60s. I didn't really see much of the 60s. I hate the 60s. The 60s was just awful decade, just terrible decade. It had some good music, obviously Led Zeppelin and Black Sabbath and the Beatles and Stones, But then the 60s just sucked. They're just yuck. Just gross, the 60s. Bah. 1968 Hong Kong flu. Where's Hong Kong? Oh, yeah, in China. Killed 100,000 Americans, 1 million people worldwide. Spread in the U.S. by troops returning home from the Vietnam War. Another way to blame the Vietnam veterans. More Americans died from the Hong Kong flu epidemic than the combined number of U.S. casualties in the Vietnam and Korean Wars. As of today, H3N2 was deadlier than COVID-19. 315,000 people in the world have it. And the world didn't shut down in 1968. Unbelievable. New York declared a state of emergency, kept schools and businesses opened. 400,000 people went to Woodstock. Okay. Festival organizer Joel Rosenman said there were no containment measures to defy. Amid growing outrage over state closure, some experts say that the 1968 pandemic puts the current COVID-19 shutdowns into perspective. Yeah, here's the perspective. They're stupid. Okay. Hello, Paul. How are you? And let's see. We're looking at Twitch now. I'm also live on Twitch on my Twitch channel, Rob Carson Show. There, a little looks like we're having a little bit of whatever. You know, it's kind of stalled. Now, I want you to listen to this. Neil Ferguson was the guy who created. They call him Dr. What? Professor Lockdown is what they call him. Okay. This guy, his computer coding was derided as totally unreliable in leading figures leading figures who warned it was something you couldn't or wouldn't stake your life on, yet it shut down the world. The model credited with forcing the government, this is in Great Britain, make the government to make U-turns and introduce a national lockdown is a buggy mess that looks more like a bowl of angel hair pasta than a finely tuned piece of programming, says David Richards, co-author of the British data technology company Wendisco. Wendisco, hey. In our commercial reality, we would fire anyone for developing code like this and any business that relied on it to produce software for sale that would likely go bust. Up until now, though, significant weight had been attached to Imperial University's model, which placed the fatality rate higher than others and predicted that 510,000 people in the UK would die. This dickweed, Professor Neil Ferguson, why in the hell did we listen to this a-hole? The Imperial model works by using code to simulate transport links, population size, social networks, and healthcare provisions to predict how coronavirus would spread, and it's been utterly, utterly wrong. But this isn't the first time this a-hole has been wrong. In the early 2000s, Ferguson's models incorrectly predicted up to 136,000 deaths from mad cow disease, excuse me, 200 million from bird flu. 200 million people from bird flu. This a-hole said that was going to happen. 65,000 from swine flu. Like the Imperial Code, a rival model by Professor Sunetra Gupta at Oxford University works on the SIR approach, in which the population is divided into those that are susceptible, infected, and recorded SIR. However, while Gupta made the assumption that 0.9% of people infected with coronavirus would die, Ferguson put that at 0.9%. That led to a dramatic reversal in government policy from attempting to build herd immunity to full lockdown. Thank you, Neil Ferguson. And this a-hole. Neil Ferguson also broke his own rules when his lover, Antonia Stats, visited him. Peers have accused him of making excuses after claiming he thought he was immune. One peer said scientists and humans are humans and they can have lapses of judgment. He quit his role advising the government earlier this month after it was revealed that his married lover, Antonia Stats, had visited his home numerous times. He claimed that having suffered from coronavirus, he believed he was immune. What a son of a bee. What a giant, trillions of dollars. This idiot. Trillions of dollars. Hello, Patty. Half says, how you doing today? Over 85,000 people have reportedly died in the U.S. from the coronavirus, and the fear generated by those is driving the public policy debate. This, according to John Lott, he says the U.S. is dramatically overcounting coronavirus deaths, and it is. Okay. The case definition is very simplistic. According to Dr. Ngozi Ezeki, director of Illinois Department of Public Health, it means at the time of death, it was a COVID positive diagnosis. That means if you were in a hospice and had already been given a few weeks to live and you also were found to have COVID, that COVID would count as a death. And this happened at St. Luke's East. I met an administrator from there. One person died in the entire outbreak, and they had already been in hospice. It means technically, even if you died from a clear alternative cause, but you had COVID at the same time, it's a COVID death. Even people who died in suicides and automobile accidents met that definition. Dr. Deborah Burks, the scarf queen, says that the deaths are 25% higher than they should be. Meaning that really about 60,000 have died, which is about what normally happens in a flu season in this country. Classifications go beyond those broad categories. New York is classifying cases as coronavirus deaths, even when postmortem tests have been negative. Despite negative test classifications are based on symptoms, even though the symptoms are often very similar to those of seasonal flu. So they're automatically saying it's COVID-19. What is this all about, kids? It's about money. It's about federal money. This isn't just a theoretical issue. On April 21st, when New York City's death toll rose above 10,000, the New York Times reported that the city included 3,700 additional people who were presumed to have died of coronavirus, but had never been tested. A more than 50% increase in the number of cases. We're being lied to, kids. Colorado has made a stunning and significant change to the way it counts COVID-19 deaths to reduce the statewide figure from 1,000 to 878. Change came after Colorado's Public Department of Health admitted that its COVID-19 death toll was counting those who had tested positive for the coronavirus, but had died of other causes. This according to Fox 31 in Denver. We have been reporting that the state deaths among people who had COVID-19 at the time of death and the cause of death may or may not have been COVID-19. This according to Eric France, the health department's chief medical officer, told the TV station. It was a 34-year-old man in Montezuma County in Colorado. Died May 4th of alcohol poisoning, but his death was counted in the COVID-19 death toll. Guy had a blood alcohol content level about twice what you need to kill you. So I killed him twice. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Excuse me. I have a drink, actually. It's sugar-free pink lemonade. Hello, John. How are you? I've got video clips. I'm going to get to a lot of video clips here, but I wanted to share this because it's important, you see. L.A. County has been mercifully mocked for telling residents they can snitch on businesses that don't fall in line with stay-at-home orders. Powers that be said county stay-at-home orders with all certainty will be extended through July. Okay? So, through July in L.A. County. L.A. County posted this tweet. We know that businesses are working hard to adhere to the hashtag safer at home orders. But if you need to report businesses for noncompliance, please call. It has the number. And here are kind of the responses they got. And remember, this happened in in New York when Bill de Blasio said that. Comrade de Blasio, we've got some stuff from him coming up. Greg says Governor Northam is screwing Northern Virginia. I know, he's a complete douche. Ralph Northam is a joke. Here are some of the responses. The person who sent this tweet is still getting taxpayer-funded paycheck while small business owners wonder whether the dreams they built are about to be destroyed. I'd like to report hashtag or at County of LA for violation of the Constitution. Okay, Karen. Hashtag Los Angeles, where illegal aliens have sanctuary, but legal businesses have punishment. Another one, businesses are working hard to survive and be safe, but not as hard as you're working to turn us into East Germany. Says also 1984 was a warning, not a textbook. It has been, though, right? Right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Unbelievable what we've given up. Unbelievable what we've had taken away from us. What we have had taken away from us. Think about this. We've had freedom taken away from us. We've had city parks shut down. We've had beaches shut down. We've had businesses shut down. We've had concerts shut down. We've had places you get your hair cut shut down. Every small business in America that is deemed non-essential by the government has been shut down, and not a single effing case of COVID-19 has been traced to somebody eating at a restaurant or going to a beach. Show me the cases. Show me patient zero who got COVID-19 while walking on the beach. It's a sham. It's a shakedown. 75% of new cases in New York City, where are they taking place? In lockdown homes. That's where it's happening. So not only does the policy cause more coronavirus deaths, in the state of New York, they also put coronavirus patients into nursing homes, which killed over 3,000 people. Meanwhile, at the Villages in Florida, which has the population of South Bend, Indiana, not one case with that giant retirement village. Unbelievable. Dr. Russell Blaylock wrote for Technocracy that people who aren't sick should not wear a face mask. Publication of his opinion piece comes as more businesses and locales make masks a requirement, including Prairie Village, Kansas. I wrote Prairie Village, even though I don't live there, and I said, if you pass this ordinance, I will call you, tell you where I will be, when I will be there, without my mask. Come and write me a ticket. As for the scientific support of the use of the face mask, a recent careful examination of the literature in which 17 of the best studies were analyzed concluded that none of the studies established a conclusive relationship between mask and respirator use and protection against influenza infection. Blaylock noted that people wearing the most effective masks N95 respirators are at a risk of negative effects of having their oxygen intake limited for extended periods of time, which if you're liberal, you wouldn't notice. Hello, Bob. It is known as the N95 mask, if worn for hours, can reduce blood oxygenation as much as 20%, which could lead to loss of consciousness, as happened to a hapless fellow driving around alone in his car wearing an N95 mask, causing him to pass out in his car to crash, and he sustained injuries. I covered that story a few weeks ago. One should not attack and insult those who have chosen to wear a mask, as these studies suggest that is the wise choice to make, he says. CDC recommend the use of face cloth coverings, not surgical masks or N95 respirators for public settings. I went to Menards the other day, and they said, put on a mask if you want to come in, and I said, pound it. Bye. Not going to do it. In February, U.S. Surgeon General Jerome Adams issued a public statement telling people to stop buying masks because they're not effective in preventing the general public from catching coronavirus. So if you wear a mask all the time, you're a COVIDiot. I saw a guy literally the other day driving in his truck by himself with a mask on. That is a COVIDiot. Stanford University Dr. Jayanta Bhattacharya, professor of medicine at Stanford, said people are mistaken if they think coronavirus lockdowns are a solution that proves safety from COVID-19. He led the largest COVID-19 antibody study in the United States, testing thousands of staff members of 27 major baseball teams to get a better idea about how widespread the novel coronavirus is. Based on his research, he is opposed to continuing the lockdowns and said they may even cause unnecessary harm. Quote, the lockdowns have not moved the population toward elimination of the virus, but rather delayed the spread. As a result, whenever lockdown restrictions are lifted, the virus will inevitably spread again. Meanwhile, there will have been serious harms for public health and world economies caused by the lockdown. There is no safe option, he says. If you think having a lockdown will provide you safety, you are mistaken, because the problem is the lockdown has had an enormous negative effects on the people of the U.S. and around the world. 1/3 of small businesses will not reopen. The focus, he said, should be on protecting at-risk people, the SIR approach, as I mentioned, sharing clinical information to improve treatment, and studying the virus further to more precisely determine who is at risk of serious illness or death from COVID-19. That has caused many municipalities, many states, mostly Democrats, to become dictatorial. Christine Whitmer, the governor of Michigan, is a prime example. Donald Trump said thank you to his wonderful supporters who bobbed his limo. They were not wearing masks. Oh my God, they're all dead. They must all be dead by now. He was in Pennsylvania, and this was last week. Here's the motorcade. Now, this is, of course, this incompetent president that everybody hates because he's causing so much death, and yet, oh my God, look at that. Well, that looks pretty amazing. That's pretty good for an awful incompetent president that's caused millions of deaths and even though millions of people haven't died. But, they will because Donald Trump. Just because, Donald Trump. There you go. Yeah. Got a great reception. Went to a mask-making factory. I think about half the factories in America right now are making masks. There you go. That's amazing. Wow. Crazy. Oh, I got to share. This is pretty funny. We got the Obamagate, now they call it Obamagate, and it was the intelligence community being sicked on Donald Trump's campaign, people surrounding Donald Trump, exposing people, Michael Flynn sharing a telephone conversation that was perfectly legal with the foreign minister of the ambassador, I should say, of Russia. There was an unmasking. James Clapper is on CNN, and the questions. I believe this is John Berman doing the questions, and they got a little intense, and all of a sudden, his feed got caught. What's this?
Broadly speaking, how many unmasking requests did you make, say, in a given week?
Well, great question, and it varied, and I don't recall the exact number, but over the 6.5 almost years I served as DNI, I would say perhaps
you got a little schmutz on your forehead there. You might want to just wipe that off.
Once.
He's an old guy. Old people, they always hit their heads. He probably hit his head on something.
A week, once or twice a week, perhaps, but it would vary.
So
not every day, but fairly frequently. It's a routine thing. It's appropriate and legitimate. When you have a valid foreign intelligence target engaging with a U.S. person, is it, for example, an insider, someone in the government engaging with that foreign adversary? So it's important from the standpoint.
It was a legal phone call with Michael Flynn, by the way.
Point of potential jeopardy to national security.
The intelligence community weaponized to listen to people's conversations. Okay. Even though they're perfectly legal, they used the fact that people were speaking with foreign people as an excuse to wiretap.
That you understand what's going on.
So you would make those requests once or twice a week, and to be clear, the number of unmasking requests actually went up in the
here's the tough question, and then all of a sudden, he doesn't want to talk anymore.
years of the Trump administration from the Obama administration.
Wait for it.
Do you remember why you made these specific, and there were 3, December 2nd, December 28th, January 7th, these requests to unmask the name of an individual?
No, I don't. I don't recall what prompted a request that was made on my behalf for unmasking. I don't remember the specifics or what it was in the SIGINT report that was suggestive enough that I was concerned and felt that I should know who was actually involved.
Aside from these.
Okay. Oh, that's weird. I thought that was the piece where he actually hung up. He actually later in the interview. I don't know why I played that because that wasn't very good. He actually cut off the interview, and I was like, clap on, clap off, the clapper. All right, let's move on. Joe Biden had a disastrous virtual roundtable hosted last week, concerned over his mental sharpness. Been the subject of constant debate. It's because he's a gaffe machine and there's something clearly wrong with him. And if you don't believe that, you're a fool. All right. And I think most Democrats know it. I think you know it. Come on. Right? If you're a Democrat and you're watching this, you know that he's losing it. Here is a little bit of his round table where he started getting all the jobs numbers wrong and the deaths and everybody. Listen to this.
This is not a moment for excuses or deflections or blame game. We're in the middle of a pandemic that had cost us more than 85,000 jobs as of today.
No, actually, that's 20 and a half million there, Uncle Joe.
Lives of millions of people, millions of jobs. And we're in a position where, we just got new unemployment insurance this morning, numbers, 36.5 million claims since this crisis began.
Oh, wait. I thought we just lost 85,000 jobs. And wow, that's your choice. That's of all the people that could have been, nominated and all that, that's what you got. That's what you got. Oh, hello, Amy. How are you? Let's check over on the old Twitch feed. There it is. The old Twitch feed's on there. It is at Rob Carson. My other, by the way, my other Facebook pages are still gone. Facebook took them off. They never told me why. They never did. Limonade. Barstool Sports, Dave Portnoy went on a little profane rant. He said he'd rather die of corona than lose his business during the outbreak. He's known by fans as El Presidente. I have no idea who this guy is. Never even heard of Barstool Sports because I'm not a sports guy. But here he is, kind of stating the obvious.
What the fuck's going on? When did this become flatten the curve, flatten the curve, flatten the curve to...
I didn't use the F-bomb. He did.
We have to find a cure or everyone's going to die? Like Fauci. Seems like a nice enough dude. I've always been like, oh, no agenda. Looks like he could be maybe the grandfather in Wedding Crashers.
Yeah.
Gets in front of the Senate. He's like, we reopen the country too quick. Everyone's dead. Where'd that come from? And the LA mayor. We're not opening the city till we find a cure? What? Find a cure? Who says we're going to find a cure? We haven't found a cure to cancer. It took AIDS 20 years or whatever. Do we even have a cure?
No.
So the economy's just shut down? All we've heard forever.
Okay, Dave, I'm just going to say, if you're going to crack the mic, you got to kind of know your facts a little. That's the only thing I'm going to say here. AIDS has been around for about 35 years, actually, and there is no vaccine.
Flatten the curve.
I don't have to take a glass of pills every day anymore. I think it's like a pill or something. But, still something you don't want to get.
Flatten the curve. Make sure there's hospital beds. We're there. Now
Magic Johnson is still alive. And, I mean, honestly, his name's Magic Johnson. I mean, really? Magic Johnson?
Suddenly it's like a 180. This is like taking a cross-country flight, 6 hours. They tell you, flight 6 hours. 5 hours and a half go by. They get on the intercom like, oh, just kidding. We have another 10 hours. You can't do that. People have been mentally preparing. We're doing what you ask. We've done exactly what you said.
Yeah, he's right. People are getting pissed, and they should get pissed. And they should say to these dictatorial types in power, F you. Done. And they are doing that. I'll get to a Michigan barber in just a moment. Barack Obama was all passive-aggressive this weekend. He was speaking to high school seniors. Wow, what a lousy commencement. Bad enough you don't have a commencement, really. Then you got to watch Barack Obama be all passive-aggressive about the current president and be really tasteless and tactless and just uncouth by opening his big mouth and criticizing the sitting president, which is generally taboo, but not for this guy because he's a vindictive little prick who sicked the intelligence community on Donald Trump's campaign, transition team, and presidency and attempt to take it down. Here he is being all passive-aggressive, not saying the president's name, but insulting him.
But these aren't normal times. You're being asked to find your way in a world in the middle of a devastating pandemic and a terrible recession. Now,
you had a really bad recession that you kind of prolonged, and 13 million people were put on food stamps because of you, and some of the worst unemployment numbers. The economy crept along barely at 1%.
The timing is not ideal. And let's be honest, a disease like this just spotlights the underlying inequalities and extra burdens that black communities have historically had to deal with in this country.
Yes, agreed. Why didn't you fix it? You had 8 years.
We see it in the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on our communities. Mm-hmm. Just as we see it when a black man goes for a jog and some folks feel like they can stop and question and shoot him if he doesn't submit to their question.
Now, this, of course, is the case in Georgia, which, by all accounts, it looks like it could be murder, but there hasn't been a trial yet there, buddy.
Injustice like this isn't new. What is new is that so much of your generation has woken up to the fact that the status quo needs fixing. That the old ways of doing things don't work.
Like what? Can we be any more vague?
And that it doesn't matter how much money you make if everyone around you is hungry and sick. That our society and our democracy only works when we think not just about ourselves.
You ever notice nothing is ever fixed with Democrats? It's never fixed. There's always got to be a need. There's always got to be a need to reinvent or create another program or fix something. Why isn't the IRS fixed? Why isn't Social Security fixed? Why isn't the infrastructure fixed? Because once it's fixed, there's no need for these people, this guy.
But about each other. More than anything, this pandemic has finally torn back the curtain on the idea that so many of the folks in charge know what they're doing.
Oh, there we go. There's that sweet, sweet passive aggressiveness.
A lot of them aren't even pretending to be in charge.
A lot of them have an orange face and a comb over.
Better, it's going to be up to you.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. Happy graduation. Jeez. Fernando, how are you, my friend? Thank you for watching in Washington, D.C. And Daniel as well. Michigan barber who opened a shop in defiance of the governor's shutdown orders has had his license taken by the state. Carl Menke has been he's 77 years old. He's been in business since 1961 and no longer. No longer. Here is Mr. Menke coming out of the courthouse, or I believe it's out of his courthouse. And then, of course, the tyrannical governor of the state of Michigan, Christine Whitmer.
Outside a barbershop where the 77-year-old owner was ticketed for giving haircuts in defiance of shutdown orders.
All of us as Americans need to begin to take responsibility for ourselves.
Whoa, wait, what? We've got to be adults? We don't need government to be our parents?
You know, I feel that the government is not my mother, never has been. Right. I've been in business longer than they've been alive.
These executive...
Okay, listen to this treacherous, wretched, awful, shiny face. I think she has her face polished every day. Oh, by the way, the barber that we just saw there, Mr. Menke, he had no income. There was nothing coming in. Okay? So he was losing everything.
Orders are not a suggestion. They're not optional. They're not helpful hints. This is an order to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Listen to this woman again. What an insufferable bureaucrat.
These executive orders are not a suggestion. They're not optional. They're not helpful hints. This is an order to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Doesn't she sound like some old, I don't know, maybe if you went to a Catholic school back in the day, you know, and getting a lecture in class? Honestly, didn't she sound like she was talking to children there? This is not a suggestion. This is an order. God, what an awful woman. Dear God. The governor of Oregon went after Lindsey Graham. No, not that one. Lindsey Graham's a woman. And she owns a salon. She opened in defiance of state lockdown orders. But not only did the Democrat arrange a $14,000 fine through OSHA, they also sent Child Protective Services to visit her kids at home while she was at work. Did you hear what I just said? OSHA then bullied Graham with the threat of notifying other state agencies and initiating additional investigations, like taking her children from her. Kay Brown has decided to utilize the full weight of the state to target and destroy Lindsey Graham. May 2nd, Lindsey let her clients know she would reopen her salon the 5th of May. May 4th, OSHA threatened her with a $70,000 fine. May 5th, she opened the salon. May 6th, received a letter from the city informing her that she was in violation of the office lease contract. The city of Salem owns the building she's in. May 7th, Child Protective Services showed up at her home while she was at the office to initiate an investigation of her children's environment. Are you effing kidding me? On May 14th, OSHA told Lindsey they will fine her $14,000, will notify other state agencies to initiate additional investigations, sicking the full force of the government on things that aren't even a part of her running her business. Are you out of your goddamned mind? Graham said there's no way OSHA should even have jurisdiction over her salon. She doesn't have any actual employees, does not operate a workspace, therefore OSHA should have no involvement at all. They've appointed themselves arbiters in this case without any legal authorization. Brown now faces several state and federal lawsuits challenging the legality of her 19 executive orders extending the state of emergency past statute and common sense. So this governor is being taken to task. Her name is, of course, Kay Brown. Sicking Child Protective Services on somebody. Effectively threatening to take her children away. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Here we go. I'm just refreshing my browser over here so I can see all you wonderful people. There we are. Look at all the folks here. Jared and Patty. This is a Washington police officer been placed on administrative leave after he uploaded a video to social media urging fellow cops not to enforce stay-at-home orders. 10-year veteran said in this clip that citing or arresting people in relation to what he called tyrannical social distancing orders is an unconstitutional breach. A breach of the Constitution. The officer refused a number of requests from superiors to delete the post, which led to a call from his boss, Port of Seattle Chief Rod Covey. Greg Anderson is the police officer. Let's listen to what the good man had to say that got him taken off the force, I guess, placed on administrative leave.
I'm compelled to make this video. I've been in law enforcement for 10 years, and I'm speaking to my peers, other fellow officers, people in any kind of law enforcement position. I've seen officers nationwide enforcing tyrannical orders against the people, and I'm hoping it's a minority of officers, but I'm not sure anymore, because every time I turn on the television, every time I look to the internet, I'm seeing people arrested or cited for going to church, for traveling on the roadways, for going surfing, opening their businesses, going to the park with their families.
By the way, this officer got a note from the Port of Seattle police chief. It said, if you openly defy your governor, you can't be a police officer in the state of Washington.
Or doing nails out of their own house, using their own house as a place of business. And
Anderson is a U.S. Army veteran who was then told by the department and the police union that he would likely be charged with insubordination and subsequently terminated if he held firm with his refusal to remove the video.
Undercover agents go there and arrest them.
Hey, man, don't worry about it. I mean, seriously, Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, they'll take it down anyway.
And charge them with what? With a crime? I don't know what crime people are committing by doing nails in their own house. But we're seeing this more and more and more, and we need to start looking at ourselves as officers and thinking, is what I'm doing right?
Yeah. I would assume there were some Nazi soldiers who felt the same way, but they went along. And I don't think, yeah, sure, that's an extreme example, but honestly, what are we criminalizing here? What are we criminalizing here? Here's a woman in New York City who apparently she had a mask on, but her nose was sticking out. And the New York Police Department swarmed her, 22-year-old Kalima Rozier. She wasn't wearing her face mask properly as she came off the subway. So they swarmed her with her toddler, and they took her down. Now, what is her crime? They said a spokesperson from the NYPD said the woman responded to the officers with vulgar language and repeatedly refused requests to wear her face mask covering over both her nose and mouth when approached by officers. The NYPD added, however, that its officers only reacted appropriately and with respect. Let's see how respectful this is. Here we go. She got a kid. The officer hit her first. The police said that we're confident that the police officers in this incident acted appropriately and with respect. This individual was arrested only after her behavior toward officers warranted police action. Unbelievable.
She got a kid with her. She got a kid with her, man. That's too much, man. You're a female, that's too much. She got a mask on. She got a mask on.
Wasn't wearing her mask properly. Wasn't wearing her mask properly. That's why she got taken down by police in front of her kid. Wow. Tova Herskovitz posted this, frustrated business owner in Brooklyn, asking why her business can't be open, but big box stores can, no problem whatsoever.
With some luck, this may go viral. My husband and I are store owners. We are entrepreneurs. We are based in New York. We worked really hard to build our business. We literally put in our heart and soul to provide for our family as best as we can.
And 1/3 of America's small businesses say they won't reopen.
We do everything according to the letter of the law. When they asked during the coronavirus that we shut our doors during...
I got nothing against Costco. I got nothing against Walmart. I got nothing against the big grocery store chains. I nothing against them at all. Okay? They have made a mint off of this. Grocery sales went through the ceiling. Everything else slammed shut.
Our busiest...
Amazon kicked ass. They weren't affected by this.
Season of the year, we shut our doors. We closed down our gates, and we did everything that was asked of us. Now some time has passed, and it's really, really hard to look around and see that Walmart can be open, and that Costco can be open, and that 7-Eleven can be open. But I, a store owner, cannot open my doors. I see 1,500 people in Prospect Park every day. Trust me, I'm there every day. And I cannot be trusted to open my door to one client at a time. Why are our politicians favoring the chain stores? Why are they punishing the young, small, fledgling companies? Some of them not young, some of them old, but some of them that are just literally trying their best to scrape by and make a living for their family. We are asking and imploring and begging that our businesses be allowed to open.
And it's falling on deaf ears. You know why? Because no politicians are missing their paychecks. And no government bureaucrats are missing their paychecks. Government's perfectly fine. You're fine. They don't know how much pain that they have caused. They don't even know it. They don't see it. Why is the national news not covering this? Why is the national news not covering this? Oh, there's some outlets who are like I talked about the barber. I talked about the hairdresser in Texas. The other one the state went after with Child Protective Services has nothing to do with her opening her hair cutting place, but they want to take her kids away to threaten her. Are you kidding me? What the hell happened to the country? What the hell happened to our country? What the hell have we allowed to happen? What have we allowed to happen? What have we said okay for? What have we bent over for? Some of us just gotten on the train car, just going for a little ride. Here's one of the Central Park. Let me see if I have that. No, I do not have it. Yeah, here it is. So these are parks in New York. They've drawn big circles on the ground so people can go out, but you have to sit in these little circles. So there you go. That's freedom for you, kids. You go sit in your little circle. Can you walk between the circles? You might kill somebody if you actually walk between the circles. This is at Brooklyn's Domino Park. 80 degrees. And somebody said that if you were to take a video footage from the world today and show it to somebody from 2019, they would think it was from some near-future Hollywood dystopian television show instead of real life. What have we allowed to happen? What have we allowed to happen? Bill de Blasio is threatening to send cops into New York streets when people stand outside and have a beverage. Clusters of people stand outside of bars. They're having margaritas. They're chilling outside in the open air. Bill de Blasio, and I want you to watch this guy. Watch his obsessive compulsive disorder is on full display. Watch.
Health and safety first. And so we're working closely with the council, and I think there's been a good track record of us working through issues. And
there you go. There's your OCD. I know, because I used to be this way. Let's watch this again.
And I think there's been
a mentally ill man.
A good track record of us working through issues.
I moved straight. No, that one's a little askew.
Ending up in a good resolution. On the bars and the beaches, so on the beaches, the report I've gotten from yesterday is there were people walking on beaches and there were very few instances of a problem. But again, we're going to have a lot of NYPD, a lot of Parks Department out to address anything. And if people, if we have sporadic problems, that's one thing. If we have consistent problems, then, as I said, we will use the fencing on top of all those patrols.
What an asshole.
Want to do it, but we're ready to. But the reports I got about beaches yesterday were overwhelmingly that there was compliance and that enforcement was honored.
This man is the worst governor or the worst mayor in the history of New York City. Nothing likable about him. His policies are failing. People have died because of him. Legitimately. Unbelievable. New York was a cluster F, man. New York was a cluster F. This mayor, after Donald Trump shut down travel from China on March 31st, this mayor was still telling people to go out and enjoy downtown, get out in the middle of February. New York had 190,000 cases of coronavirus, 15,000 deaths. Another 4,800 probable deaths, but they died of something else, and they'll eventually be attributed to coronavirus, like I mentioned earlier. Hello, Michelle. Hello, James. Hello, Brian. Brian, what up, my friend? Good to see you. Anti-lockdown protesters insulted and berated a reporter covering their protest in Long Island. The level of anger directed at the media from these protesters was alarming. According to this local reporter, Kevin Vesey of News 12 Long Island was covering the protest. When he says some protesters began berating him, he posted a video of the report and the altercation on his social media account. And I'll explain why I'm perfectly cool with this.
They flooded the sidewalk on Jericho Turnpike in Comac. Hundreds of Long Islanders sick of the shutdown, demanding that New York get back to work.
Businesses need to reopen. People are losing their livelihood. Who is King Cuomo to tell business owner that he can't be open or that you have to wear a mask when you walk into his store?
The rally, organized by a group called the Setauket Patriots, a right-wing organization that supports President Trump.
Never notice whenever there's a left-wing protest, they never say it's a left-wing protest.
It's the second demonstration that's been held at this location.
So it's a right-wing protest.
The last 2 weeks. Back on May 1st, many people were seen ignoring social distancing and refusing to wear masks, while Suffolk police...
Listen to this snarky little fop.
Police looked on. This time around, Suffolk police showed up in much larger numbers.
Look, I'm wearing a mask and there's no one near me because I'm an idiot.
They also put up these barriers near the sidewalk and talked to protesters about social distancing. But once the rally really got started, some of the rules went out the window. Many protesters directing their anger right at the news media. Some of them trying to prevent me from filing this report on Facebook Live and repeatedly invading my personal space.
I think you need to back away from me.
My personal space.
Hydroxychloroquine, I'm fine.
I'm just standing here. This guy will not get away from me.
Yeah.
Can you back away? No. The demonstrators came from all over Long Island.
This is because the media lies. This is because the media is in bed with the administrators and the Democrat Party. This is because they are towing the party line. They aren't covering suffering. They aren't covering suffering caused by this idiotic shutdown. They don't. And the people are mad because they get sick and tired of watching every night on TV and being lied to.
And some Comac residents tell us they don't agree with the protests.
The protest doesn't represent all of Comac.
But like it or
and neither do you, actually. Not at all.
But like it or not, their message is loud and clear. They say it's time to end the coronavirus shutdown.
The end goal seems to be no deaths. And that is impossible.
In Comac, Kevin VC News 12.
Yeah, you know what? You're part of the problem there, Kev. Then where did you get the one person who's like for it, who's wearing the T-shirt that says "amazing"? one person. He interviewed one person who was against the protest. That's why people were berating you, you little idiot. New York Times has uncovered an email showing why Mayor de Blasio botched the coronavirus response. And he is staying the course. It's a head scratcher. I can't figure out his rationale. The New York Times expose documented an email that showed why New York City's de Blasio botched the city's response to the coronavirus epidemic, and now he's staying the course despite disastrous results. The report published on Thursday documented emails from Michael Katz, the head of NYC Hospitals, that delayed the implementation of social distancing guidelines in the city. One email sent on March 10th said that there was no proof that closures will help stop the spread, and argued they should simply accept that many people would be infected. We'll have to accept that unless a vaccine is rapidly developed, large numbers of people will get affected. The good thing is greater than 99% will recover without harm. Once people recover, they will have immunity. The immunity will protect the herd. Reports show that the hotspot in New York City seeded the contagion across the country. 75% of the people in the Midwest came from New York. Yeah. All the sickness. New York took a giant crap on the rest of the country. But New York is, the center of the universe. People in New York City, I mean, New York is there's nothing else exists. If 9/11 happened in Des Moines, New York would have done nothing. But every time New York has a crisis, it's America's crisis. New York is not America, not even close. Not even close. New York is not America. It's not a metaphor for America. It's a port of entry where they built a statue. Okay? And all people who are coming from Europe had to go through there. All right? That's it. Could have been in Boston. Could have been in, wherever. Could have been in Miami. This is really stupid. This is a restaurant called The Inn at Little Washington. And if you have a lot of money, you can eat there. I know. I lived in Washington, D.C. It's the Inn at Little Washington. And this little restaurant in the Blue Ridge Mountains, they've decided to put mannequins in there so you know how to socially distance. All right, so they're actually going to have mannequins decked out in 1940s attire. And that will help human patrons keep their distance from each other and fill out what otherwise would be a half-empty restaurant. Servers will even pour wine for the mannequins and ask them about their evening. Okay, this is a pretentious little restaurant. Okay, it is, and everybody talks about, it's okay, but it is beyond expensive. I've always had a thing for mannequins. They never complain about anything, and you have lots of fun dressing them up. This is according to Chef Patrick O'Connell. When we needed to solve the problem of social distancing and reducing our restaurant's capacity by half, they filled it up with dummies. He's a self-taught cook and a multiple James Beard Award winner. So, we never went there because it's too expensive. It's like beyond expensive. Like, you ain't going to leave without spending $400, maybe $500 for two people. Hello, Beth. Josh, how you doing, my friend? My nephew's watching in D.C. How are you, buddy? I miss you. This is not related to COVID-19, but John Schnatter of Papa John's. He decided to post a video online. He was let go because he used the N-word in a conference call. He was baited into using the word. He's not a racist. But he was booted, resigned as the CEO 2017. And he drew criticism for blaming disappointing sales on NFL's handling of player protests, which he was right. But here he is showing off his mansion. And what is it about people when they get really rich? They buy really big stuff.
Howdy, Papa John. Welcome to my crib.
Ooh. Ooh. Wow. What?
Start off with the clock.
Like this. Okay, so this is a clock. I mean, who the hell needs a clock that's 15 feet tall?
Up several thousand feet. They made all the way down, and right before they hit the earth, they separate so they don't get hurt or killed. Perfect timing. Eagles mating clock spins 4 times an hour. Check it out.
There's his clock. That's a freaking clock. Okay, I've got a clock here in my studio. It's about a foot across. It's a little digital thing. What the hell is about rich people? They get all rich and they get giant furniture.
Off the main floor here is the library. This is where I film a lot of footage This is where I work, write letters.
Let's check out the library, shall we?
Stay tuned. You got to keep following.
I almost expect Belle and the Beast to be in there.
Maybe next time.
Maybe next time. We won't see it.
True to life players.
There's my helicopter. I got a helicopter.
Come over, tell your friends, jump in the DS3. I got the by the tree. Throw your hands in the air if you's a true player.
Like you just don't care. And there's this Camaro. I guess he's kind of bored being that rich. Whatever. I mean, you ever been to like the high-end furniture stores? Their stuff is huge and stupid looking. I mean, it's just huge. The furniture, but they got big houses, so they need big furniture, right? Hey, you know what? He's a hell of an entrepreneur. I got to tell you that, and I like his pizza. So there, we had it the other night. It was freaking great. I love Papa John's pizza. It's good pizza. It is. Oh, this is a woman in where is it? Amsterdam. On her TikTok account, Sophia Aguni making a mask.
Hoi hoi, vandaag toon ik jou hoe je een mondmasker van een kous kunt maken. Je hebt een schaar nodig en je knipt het voetje van de sok. Als je het voetje hebt afgeknipt, dan knip je
She's kind of cute.
Aan de wreef.
This is a sock made into a face mask. Make sure to wash the sock first.
Als je het opengeknipt hebt, dan plooi je het omgekeerd in 2.
Then put it on your face.
Dat de hiel een klein beetje.
She's speaking the language of IKEA. See, that's what I think that is. That's IKEA.
Gemaakt.
Every word that she says sounds like some product that you read the name at IKEA.
Je draait het om en langs de gesloten kant.
And the gesloten kant, which by the way is also a side table at IKEA.
Zijwaarts open en een rondje aan de top af. Dan krijg je dit.
Okay, that's the IKEA word for headboard.
En nu hoef je het maar open te doen. Op je neus, achter je oren. Voilà, je hebt je
Okay, and I'll see you at IKEA. Okay, that's pretty cool. See, you never know what you're going to get here. You're going to get a little bit of, silliness and, some not so, silly stuff. Travis Miller in Edmond, Oklahoma on Monday was delivering appliances to a gated community, Ashford Hills. And apparently the HOA president had a problem with a black man in a delivery truck in his gated neighborhood. Here's the video.
This is who I'm dealing with. Napoleon. Move out the way.
Napoleon.
I don't care what your name is. Get out the way. I don't care. Move.
Hey, Napoleon.
Way, sir.
Napoleon. That's fantastic.
Wrong day. Move out the way.
Move out the way.
Please hurry up so you can have this a-hole move out the way so I can leave.
I asked you one question.
It's none of your business, and I answered. It is not.
What the hell business is it of him if there's somebody driving in the neighborhood?
Why? You the mayor of the cul-de-sac?
Yeah, I'm president of the Homeowners Association.
Okay.
I'm the president of the Homeowners Association. Well, excuse me. Wow, the president of the Homeowners Association. I didn't realize I was speaking to warranty or royalty here.
And apparently you need a gate code to get in here, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
So how did I get in here?
I want to know where you're going.
It was none of your business. I'm going out. That's where I'm going, but you're in my way.
I'm not arguing with you anymore.
So then move out the way then.
Don't you realize you're talking to the president of the Homeowners Association?
I'm not moving. All you have to do is tell me where you're going.
I don't have to tell you, and you're pissing me off.
Tell me where you're going.
No, I don't.
Oh, boy, here we go. And it's time for White Dude number 2.
I'm trying to leave.
Might be the vice president of the Homeowners Association.
What do you mean, why?
If the homeowner
None
association president dies, he has to take over for him.
Did I deliver it to your house?
You didn't deliver anything.
Because it's none of your business. That's why.
What are you doing here?
You're asking questions.
You're not supposed to be
here. You don't need
here.
to ask questions. All you need to do is have your buddy move his car so I can leave and go about my business.
Wow. I'm thinking these are the same people who probably report their neighbors for coronavirus, social distancing infractions. Wow. By the way, the man was later identified as David Stewart. David Stewart, Napoleon. Oh, this is funny. This is funny. So, a lot of news anchors having to do their newscast from home. And Emmy-winning WFTV anchor Martha Sogolski was reporting live from her home when one of her kids decides to run through in the background.
House begin to open up. In Daytona Beach, Mike Springer, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
And here we go.
Sorry about that. The Department of Labor issued new safety tips today for taxi cab and rideshare companies to help reduce...
Now she's doing the mom straight arm there on the right. See that? Not quite straight, but that's his mom's straight arm to keep the kids from running by again.
...the risk of exposure to the coronavirus. They include...
Did her top lip get stung by a bunch of bees or something?
...allowing drivers to wear face masks, providing hand sanitizer for drivers and customers, also cutting the number of passengers at a single time and installing plexiglass between drivers and passengers. When possible, it also calls for drivers to clean vehicle door handles and surfaces, crack the windows for better airflow.
For better airflow.
And last month, non-investigators...
For better airflow. Here, Mom, she's like, for better airflow, I'm going to kick your butt when I'm done here. Let's listen to that again here. Hold on. Here's Mom. She's doing the talk over here.
Better airflow.
And last month...
One more time.
Crack the windows for better airflow.
She's yelling at again. Crack the windows for better airflow. Which means I am going to kick your butts when I am done here, and you are in so much trouble, mister. Now back to you, Bill. That is funny. That is really funny. That is fantastic. I've had that happen. I get dogs barking and stuff in the background. The kids aren't so bad anymore because they're hanging in their rooms. Anthony Smith suffered a defeat by Glover Teixeira in the main event of Fight Night MMA. Now, this guy got his clock cleaned. Anthony Smith got the snot beat out of him. And here he is actually in the, and he's very polite because he actually handed the ref his tooth that got knocked out of his head. There you go. Punch. Oh, that's my tooth. We just take that. Just hold it. Yeah, thanks. Could you just hold it? Yeah, that's my tooth. Okay, thank you. Just put it on some cold, on some ice, and we'll take care of it later. Wow. Who the hell does this? It's understood that the 31-year-old lost his veneers, but also two of his real teeth during the fight, as well as suffering a fractured eye socket and broken nose. So they couldn't keep my mouthpiece in place due to my missing tooth. That's what he said. He said it just like that. I looked down and I was on the canvas, so I grabbed it and handed it to him. Who the hell does this? Who do you get one tooth knocked out? I'd be done fighting for the rest of my life. Dear God. This is pretty funny. It's a fruit stack challenge that has gone viral. What parents are subjecting their children to the latest social media challenge to test their willpower with hilarious results. Here is the kids' willpower test, and it's also, I think, probably a metaphor for their character, their poor character from the children. No, I'm just kidding. Here it is.
What do you got for me?
I got you some fruit snacks.
Fruit
Let me
snacks.
open it for you. I'm gonna put it in a bowl for you, okay?
Okay. In the bowl.
I'm gonna put it in the bowl, but don't touch it yet, okay?
Don't touch it.
Don't
It's
touch
not really
it.
hot.
It's not hot.
Oh, it's cold.
It's cold, and it's all for you. But I need you to wait, okay?
Okay.
I used to buy those all the time at
1 second.
Sam's
I'll be right
Club.
back, okay?
I'll be right back. Don't
it,
touch
okay?
those. Oh, the fruit snack. Where is she? She gone yet? Oh, distract.
Don't touch it. Yes.
Uh-oh.
Don't eat it yet.
Don't eat it yet.
Mama gone.
Will she do it?
Mama, don't touch.
Don't touch.
Mama,
This is so good. Come on. Will it happen?
say it now.
Did you wait?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yay! Okay, that was cool. That was pretty sweet. There was a lot going on up there. That is fantastic. Viral trend is based on decades-old psychological study about delayed gratification. It's better than premature gratification, I guess. If your social media feeds are filled with videos of adorable babies stuffing their faces with candy, you've just gotten the hashtag Fruit Snack Challenge. By the way, that's 18-month-old Kavia, who was apparently not eating the fruit snacks. Ooh, this is cool. You ready for this? Check this out. This is an Amish barn raising, but it's not what you think. Okay? This is actually 300 Amish dudes actually working in tandem to lift a huge shed and move it. This is how the Amish roll, people. Look at this.
Look at that. That is amazing.
Holy hell.
Wow. I gotta get out film it.
I already am. Move your head.
You are, but I gotta do it for you.
Okay, Sven, want you to go to the left a little there. Just a little to the left, okay. Biddly, 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 getting all the feet. They're carrying a frickin' barn. You know, it would be a lot easier if the horses weren't in here. And the wagons. Who the hell carries a barn? Oh, yeah, hey, I got a nose itch over here. Can somebody come and itch my nose? I don't want to put down the barn. Look at that!
That's full of men. I mean, full of men.
Look at that!
Men inside there.
You know, at least two of those guys are going to set it down with their foot. They're going to lift it up again, lift it up again. I don't know if that's how Amish people talk, but whatever. Holy hell.
Legs.
And, you know, there's a woman standing there. No, I don't like it there. Can you move it back? No, you know, I've changed my mind. Let's move it back. It's like, oh, my God, what are you doing there, honey? I told you you did. We're going to move it over here. That's what my wife would do. She'd be like, no, put it back. Unbelievable. Let's move a little bit forward here. There we go. Are we at the right place again?
God.
That is unbelievable. I think they're putting it down. Right there. Wow. Okay, that's pretty freaking cool. That is pretty cool. What else do I say? Oh, my God. Maryland bar owner claims that employees will not return to work because they're getting more money from coronavirus relief aid. You know, Melanie Wagner said employees don't want to return to her work. Her bar, Charles Village Pub and Patio in Baltimore. She said they received more money from coronavirus relief. First coronavirus stimulus package added an additional $600 a week to unemployed workers, $2,400. As a result, homelessness is growing. Governor Larry Hogan, who's goose-stepping right along with the Democrats, even though he's supposed to be a Republican, he's basically destroyed the state of Maryland. Here's a restaurant owner in Maryland talking about how difficult it is to try and reopen.
These days we're very busy. These days it's been slow because, everything, all the businesses are closed. There's not much traffic. But what hurt us the most is, it's hard to find people to work. I mean, nobody wants to work. They're waiting till, that the whole thing is over.
Yeah, And I got to tell you, there are people in my household who will not go out to dinner. I say, well, the restaurants are open. We can go to a restaurant now. No, I don't want to go. Like, no, we've got to. No, not till this is all over. I'm like, are you kidding me? Dear Lord. Hello, Jeremy. How you doing? Hello, Sarah, as well. Got a couple more stories here that I want to get to. And here they are. Oh, here's a guy. He's this is funny. This is a new video that's gone viral. Nancy Pelosi did an appearance the other day where her face was really shiny. I mean, really shiny, like glossy, weird. And somebody had a little fun with it.
we'll pass it in the House.
Carpe
and then we'll
dunk them
negotiate
dead.
as we
Watch
go
this.
forward. But what this is what this country needs.
Our house is,
we need
face
to
is
have,
melting. There's the
we want
Botox.
to open our economy.
there
To
you go.
do that, we need testing.
A little more Botox. There you go.
Tracing,
That'll work.
treatment, and
And,
isolation
okay, so
if
we're fine.
necessary.
And,
so that's very important.
And
this,
they're
establishes a plan, a goal,
looking like a Dolly
plan,
painting. There you go.
benchmarks,
A couple of them
and
there.
a timeline
Thank you.
for us
All
to get
better
the
now.
American people tested so we know the size of this problem and, again, can defeat this villainous virus. Testing, tracing, treatment,
And there's Joe Biden, of course,
isolation.
right behind her, blowing in her ear, I guess. Anyway. A man has ripped up his $1,200 coronavirus stimulus check, claims that he doesn't need Trump money in his house. By God.
This is how $1,200, real check, my address, right? We don't need in my house Trump money. We're blessed.
Good. Thank you. You just saved me all of us $1,200. We appreciate it. If you don't like the president, I would encourage you to tear up your checks. Tear them up. Because it's all his fault. Jeremy and Sarah, hello. Yeah, whatever. Tear it up, man. This idiot. I've never understood, like the Jackass movies. I think they're stupid. And it's like that's apparently my generation's gift to the world, the Jackass movies. Here's an idiot, Josh Popkin, 23 years old. He went on TikTok and he decided to pour a giant tub of milk and cereal all over the New York subway. Here it is.
I got the munchies on the subway
Here's
today,
the prank.
so I pulled out some cereal and started chomping away. People started staring at me, but I just assumed everyone recognized me because of my OnlyFans. They all looked really hungry though, so then I asked if anyone wanted cereal, and that's when it all fell. Everyone started getting mad at me, and this guy was like, I cannot believe this is happening. I was
You're an
like,
idiot.
I can't believe this is happening again. I accidentally dropped a whole tub of
No, you hold on. Does this look accidental? Real quick here.
I accidentally dropped a whole tub of
accidentally.
cereal on the subway today. I was like, oh my god, this is the worst day of my life. Not my Fruity Pebbles. Everyone started moving away and filming me, but I was like, can someone help? Surprisingly, no one offered, so I had to put all the soggy cereal back in myself. Someone was like, I cannot believe this is happening. I was like, I can't believe this is happening again.
This guy's 23 years old. He's an idiot. People are blasting him for his idiotic prank. Here he is apologizing and groveling.
Everyone who's watching this video, dislike right now. I'm an idiot. I'm such a f***ing idiot. I would like to apologize to the MTA, the essential workers, everyone that I have affected. Trust me, I am experiencing the consequences of all of my actions right now. First of all, I'm not funny. Usually I try to be funny and I'm not funny. I honestly thought it was going to be something that would make people laugh and bring joy in this.
You just ate, your laugh was dumping a bunch of cereal in a big box, eating some of it, then spilling it. Not funny.
There's time. Obviously, I was way off the mark. I f***ed up. I went over the line. I made a mistake. And the fact that I even
He has 3 billion followers on TikTok.
thought that was okay.
Gotta call it Dick Talk.
Is ridiculous. By now, you have probably seen the cereal on the subway video. I accidentally dropped a whole tub. Probably the stupidest person of all time. I deserve to be public enemy number one. I wish you were here right now to slap me in the face. The reason why I want to do this video
so do
is
I.
because
You have no idea. Oh, yeah.
I want you guys to know that I am reading your comments and I am genuinely taking in what you have said to me. A lot of people have made comments.
Okay, I'm done with you, you little twerp. Little punk. 23-year-old, you ought to be smarter than that. Sound like his dad. Speaking of dads, dad transformed a driveway to give his daughter a proper graduation. She graduated from Xavier University. Torrance Burson from Memphis constructed an entire stage, complete with podium and loudspeakers. Said after all these years, you're going to walk across somebody's stage if I have to build one myself. Commencement ceremony included procession, invocation, national anthem sung by Whitney Houston, welcome, a song, commencement address, and finally, Gabrielle accepting her degree. This is a kick-ass dad.
All them years you've been in school, you're going to walk across somebody's stage if I have to build you one myself.
Gabrielle Pierce will tell you she's a daddy's girl. She'll also tell you her dad, Torrance Burson, is known for over-the-top gestures. That's why it came as no surprise when he told her he was going to throw her a graduation ceremony right there in the front yard.
Initially, I was really upset. I was crying. It took me like a week to stop crying because I felt like I just really wanted to walk. I felt like I needed to
Look at how proud that dad is. That dad is proud.
I went to bed, I woke up middle of the night, and I said, that's it. I'm just going to bring the graduation here.
Did your wife tell you were
I
crazy?
love it.
Yeah, she did say I was
love it,
crazy.
Gabrielle admits she was skeptical at first. Then, before she knew it, graduation day was here.
I was just in awe. I was amazed. I just couldn't believe that a lot of people showed up and people were acknowledging as they drove by, saying congratulations.
Congratulations, Gabby!
A full stage, presenters, a
Look at this.
loudspeaker blaring pomp and circumstance,
I love
and
it.
neighbors lining the street. Torrance pulled out all the stops.
We love our daughter this much, regardless of the dollar figure, what it took to pull this off. If I had to do it all over again, I'd probably do it even bigger.
It was just amazing. Better than kind of the actual graduation because I felt like it was more personal.
In South
And you didn't have to wait for 500 people to go on stage before you did. You know? What's her last name? Would she been? Okay. Pierce. Yeah, she would have been about 400 or 500 people in. Yeah. Pierce. You know, it's alphabetical. So. I got two more stories. A couple more stories is all. This is a British constable. Chief Constable of Derbyshire. He had officers use drones to spy on a lockdown. Apparently, this guy has been referred to an independent counsel for police conduct and has decided to retire. They're not saying what he did. This is days after the Derbyshire police used drones to spy on walkers. Here's the video. Watch this. This is just incredible stuff, man. Watch this. So there's the drone. This is Kerber Edge, wherever the hell that is. Pretty, though. Pretty place. Here we go. Look. These vehicles should not be here. I'm assuming this is posted on the social media of the police department. They don't have fences, just large piles of, rocks. Oh, there. Walking your dog in the Peak District. Not essential. Ask your dog. I think your dog would disagree. Wouldn't you? Oh, yes, you would. You would say you take you for a walk is very essential. You. All right. They're going for a walk miles from home. Not essential. All right. Watch this even better. It gets even better. Okay. So they're walking by yourself. Not essential. Uh-oh. Going out of your way for an Instagram snap. Not essential. Nobody by them at all. They're not going to get anybody sick. Okay. Watch this. Driving to a beauty spot for a stroll. Not essential. Hold on. It gets better. Here we go. Heading to the peaks to watch the sunset. Not essential. Yeah. Unbelievable what the world has allowed to happen. Especially in our country. We shouldn't allow this to happen. But we did. By the way, French top judges, the Supreme Court, said that they're banning the use of surveillance drones by police to monitor public compliance with coronavirus-related instructions, citing privacy issues. Yeah, it took France. And finally, Josh Duvall took his children at age 5 and 2 to a park in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Homeowner yelled at them to leave, then called the cops. Okay? Now, he's in an empty park with his 2 kids. And he ends up being approached by the police. Here's the video.
That guy right over there. That guy decided that me and my 2 kids, 1, 2, and me, right here, that quote unquote, as he's harassing us from his house in this park, here's the park, here's his house. There's the police officer.
No chance of anybody getting sick unless maybe squirrels can get coronavirus.
Quote unquote, that we're going to get people sick. Get out of the park, you're going to get people sick. Now let me ask a question. Is there anybody here? Is there anybody around here? Nope. I pay $8,000 a year in property taxes. My kids want to play at the park. They want to play on this hill. The police officer was super nice.
This is a guy who turned in Anne Frank. Yeah, I heard some noise behind the bookcase. I don't know. There might be a Jew living back there.
Just came by and said,
"You laugh, but no, no. This is authoritarian. This is authoritarianism. This is when the jackbooted thugs from the state ask people, willing dupes, to turn people in. This is what happened in Nazi Germany, and I'm not saying that for effect, people. I'm not saying it for effect at all.
Look, we got called, and I have to come out and do a report.
This is the same type of scenario. This is the same sort of compliance with the state.
But this is nonsense. This is Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And you got people calling the police on a dad and 2 kids because they want to play outside?
Yeah. Nonsense. Nonsense! And that's going to do it for my show tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Layla, hi, how are you? How's everybody in Washington, D.C.? How's Jeff? I miss D.C. very much, and all my friends in Washington, D.C. And hopefully we'll be back there. Oh, yeah, check out my show, Rob Carson's What in the World? It is on Newsmax Television. It ran twice last weekend, twice the weekend before. It's getting better every week, learning a lot, making it better as much as I can. And, it's got me on it, so how good is it going to be? Hello, Sherry. But if you would, please just check out NewsmaxTV.com, NewsmaxTV.com. You can see the listings. My show has been running at 4 o'clock on Saturdays, Eastern Standard Time, Sundays at 7:30. So check it out. It's a half-hour version of this, except for I wear a jacket. And it's really quick and fast-paced and fun. It's only half hour long, too. So have a glorious evening. Don't succumb to the idiocy, all right? You don't need to wear a mask everywhere you go. You won't. You don't have to, all right? God bless you guys. I'll see you soon. Take care. Good night.